Global tensions are rising, and India faces a dangerous choice. What does the nation stand to lose?
And India gets pulled into the blast zone, strategically. Modi isn't choosing a friend. He's choosing India's future.
It's February 28, 2026. The simmering conflict between Iran and the West has just boiled over. The United States and Israel have launched significant military strikes against Iran. US President Donald Trump has confirmed that major combat operations are underway, with the stated goal of regime change. At the same time, reports indicate Israeli strikes have targeted key figures in the Iranian leadership. The long-feared war is finally here. This explosion of conflict couldn't have come at a worse time for India. New Delhi has spent years building a deep strategic partnership with Israel, a relationship marked by high-profile cooperation and warm diplomacy. But now, that very partnership is at the center of a political firestorm. So where does this leave Prime Minister Modi? He's caught in a geopolitical vise, squeezed between two powerful and now warring forces. On one side, you have the formidable US-Israel alliance, a cornerstone of India's defense tech and its gateway to the West. On the other, there's Iran, a nation with deep civilizational links to India, a critical energy supplier, and a land bridge to Central Asia. Modi's next move isn't just about picking a side. It will define India's foreign policy for decades. Will he betray a long-standing partner or defy the world's most powerful nation? The choice is here, and the consequences for India's future are staggering. The perilous path of defiance. Let's be clear, defying the United States is not something any country does lightly. For India, the price would be immediate and severe. The US isn't just another country, it's India's comprehensive strategic partner. That relationship is the bedrock of India's access to advanced military technology, a huge market for its IT services, and a powerful friend on the global stage. Angering Washington would invite the kind of economic pressure that could cripple India's growth. We've seen this playbook before. The Trump administration has never been shy about using tariffs and visa threats to get what it wants. Now, imagine that pressure multiplied by 10. Sanctions could be slapped on Indian companies doing business with Iran, effectively locking them out of the global financial system. Key technology transfers could be frozen, stalling India's military modernization. The strategic fallout would be just as bad. A defiant India would find itself isolated from the West. Those carefully built partnerships, like the I2U2 group with Israel, the UAE, and the US, would likely crumble. And the India-Middle East-Europe economic corridor, that grand vision would probably become a pipe dream. Defying America would mean throwing away decades of diplomatic and economic work. It would push India into a corner, forcing it towards other powers out of sheer necessity, not choice. For a nation that prides itself on its rising influence, this would be a catastrophic blow. The question isn't just can India defy America, but can it survive the fallout? The agony of betrayal. But what about the other path, siding with the US and betraying Iran? That choice is just as agonizing. India's relationship with Iran isn't just about handshakes and treaties. It's a bond woven through centuries of shared history and culture. New Delhi itself describes these as having strategic and civilizational links. The most immediate pain would be to India's energy security. India imports over 85% of its crude oil, and a huge portion of that supply has to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway Iran can easily choke. The conflict has already sent oil prices spiraling, with some analysts warning they could surge past $130 a barrel. For India, every single dollar increase in the price of oil adds roughly $2 billion to its annual import bill. A spike like that could trigger runaway inflation and bring the nation's growth to a grinding halt. Then there's the strategic nightmare. For years, India has poured money into developing Iran's Chabahar port. This isn't just any port, it's India's strategic gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia, crucially bypassing its rival, Pakistan. Abandoning Iran could mean handing that strategic prize right over to China, which has been eyeing a foothold there for years. India's dream of connecting with Central Asia would be dead. And what if the Iranian state collapses, as the US hopes? That could unleash chaos right on India's doorstep, a massive refugee crisis, and a vacuum filled by extremist groups. Don't forget the millions of Indian nationals working across the Gulf, whose safety is now at risk. India has already issued urgent travel advisories. Betraying Iran isn't just a foreign policy decision, it's a choice that risks energy starvation, strategic encirclement, and regional chaos. This is a pivotal moment, and the decisions made in the coming weeks will be analyzed for years. To stay updated on this developing crisis and what it means for global power dynamics, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. The tightrope walk of multi-alignment. So, with economic ruin on one side and strategic isolation on the other, how does Modi even begin to make this choice? The answer is rooted in modern Indian foreign policy: strategic autonomy. For decades, India has refused to get locked into rigid alliances. It prefers a flexible approach, often called multi-alignment. This means engaging with everyone, the US, Russia, Europe, Iran, but always putting India's own national interest first. Instead of choosing between America and Iran, India's playbook has been to separate its relationships. It can build a deep defense partnership with Israel while simultaneously pouring money into Iran's Chabahar port. It's a high-wire act, a diplomatic tightrope walk that lets New Delhi keep a foot in every camp. We're seeing this play out right now. India hasn't condemned the US-Israeli strikes, but it hasn't endorsed them either. Its official statements are carefully neutral, calling for restraint and de-escalation. This is classic India. Avoid taking sides, lower the temperature, and protect your own people and interests. But can that doctrine survive a full-blown war? A hot war demands clarity. The pressure from Washington is immense. To withstand that pressure long-term, India is chasing sovereign capabilities. The government has been pouring money into its defense budget, with a huge focus on developing homegrown AI, drones, and other advanced tech. The goal is to build enough internal strength militarily and economically so that India is less vulnerable to being pushed around. The ultimate test for Modi is whether multi-alignment is a sustainable strategy for a great power, or just a temporary tactic for a rising one. This war is forcing India to find out. Friends, we see how Prime Minister Modi is at a historic crossroads, facing a decision that will echo for a generation. Every option looks terrible. Defying the US-Israel alliance risks economic devastation and shatters India's global ambitions. Betraying Iran means abandoning a historic partner, staring down an energy crisis, and giving up a vital strategic gateway. The very idea of strategic autonomy, which has guided India for years, is now on trial. This war has turned a complex balancing act into a brutal choice. New Delhi's quiet calls for restraint might not be enough when its partners are demanding total loyalty. The path of being friends with everyone may be closing for good. The future of India's role in the world is being forged right now, in the fire of this conflict. Will India navigate this test and emerge as a truly independent power? Or will it be forced to bend, choosing a camp and losing a part of its strategic soul in the process? What do you think India should do? Is there another way out we haven't considered? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to KanoonPlus with Advocate Ravi Kumar.